Angle addition is very similar to segment addition. Basically, the smaller parts add up to the whole thing. So here, the smaller angles add up to the larger angle that they form. Okay, and so when we look at things like any kind of addition with these shapes, it's all going to be the same thing. Segment addition was, hey, the smaller segments add up to the bigger segment that they make. Angle addition, well, the smaller angles add up to the bigger angle that they make. Okay, and so if I look at this guy, I'm going to relabel it to make life easier. I'm going to say angle 1, angle 2, right? And so if I look at those two smaller angles, they add up to the whole angle. I would say angle 1, well, the measurement of angle 1, rather, plus the measurement of angle 2 should equal the measurement of the whole angle. And the whole angle is a little bit tricky. I can't label it with a number. I have to use my connect the dots, okay? And so start at A, it's A to O to C. Okay? And I forgot my angle symbol like a crazy person. Okay? But again, it's just showing me, hey, the two smaller angles add up to the whole angle. That's it. If I look at this, it says find the measure of angle BOC. And angle BOC is the whole angle. Well, the whole angle should be the smaller angles added up. And so when I look at this, these smaller angles add up to the whole thing. So if I want the measurement of that guy, I just add these together. I say, hey, the 87 plus the 32 should equal the measure of angle BOC. Okay, the smaller angles add up to the whole thing. And so when I add those two together, it looks like it gives me a 119 degrees. Let me scoot that over a little bit. So I'm just going to say the measure of angle BOC equals 119 degrees. Okay, the smaller angles add up to the whole thing. If I look at this one, it says that angle DEF is a straight angle, and I want to find the measure of DEC. So again, the smaller angles add up to the whole thing. So when I look at something like this guy, DEC is the one I'm looking for. It's essentially saying, hey, let's think about it this way. The measure of angle DEC, that's one of the small angles, plus the next small angle, which is the 42. Okay, so the two small angles, this one and this one, add up to the whole thing. And I already know what the whole thing adds up to. If the whole thing is a straight angle, that means it's 180 degrees. And so now I have to solve for this angle, okay? So I have to do a little bit of subtracting. So I subtract that 42 from each side. And you could write it like this and think of it as an equation. You might also be able to look at this and say, okay, the whole thing is 180. I have to take away the 42 to see what I'm left with. And you might go right to a calculator on this and go from there. Measure of angle DEC. It looks like 138 degrees. Okay? Let me include the label. Boom. This one, if the measure of angle RQT is 155 degrees, I'm missing my little degree symbol there. I want to find the measure of angle RQS. And once again, I'm in that same boat where I have the whole thing as 155, and then I have one of the pieces as 89. So if I want to find the missing piece, I have to subtract, okay? And so maybe you're going to come right off to the side over here and go, you know what? 155, that's the whole thing minus the 89, should give me the other small piece that I'm left with, okay? And if you want to do that and just take it off to the side, that's okay. You can do it that way. And that's 66 degrees, okay? So I'd say the measure of angle RQT, 66 degrees, okay? The other option is to, again, just walk through the angle addition. We say, hey, you know what? The smaller angles, which is angle 80, the angle that's 89, plus the next angle, which is that RQT, should equal the whole angle, which is RQS. Oh my, labeling, Mr. Jansen, come on, get your head in the game. Sorry, this one was RQS, and it equals the measure of RQT, which is the 155. Okay, And so I could do it this way and then do some subtraction. I could subtract that 89 degrees. Notice I end up with the same thing. So it's just a matter of thinking about these angles and saying, hey, the smaller angles add up to the whole thing. If I have the whole thing, I have to subtract to get back to one of the smaller angles. Okay. But again, I get the same thing. I get the measure of RQS equals 66 degrees. Okay. So again, angle addition, just like segment addition, the smaller pieces add up to the whole thing. Okay. And I can always work backwards from the bigger piece by subtracting to get down to one of the smaller pieces. Okay.